guys, this is jamonline.ph, and today we will do a gaming test of the latest smartphone from Realme, the Realme 3 Pro. So this smartphone is marketed as a for gamers because of its processor. We got here a Snapdragon 710 processor, and it's kind of powerful for its price. So it's below 15,000 pesos. That's why the smartphone is really amazing. So today we will test out different games on the Realme 3 Pro, and let's see how these games will perform on this smartphone. Alright guys, so we're gonna play PUBG Mobile first, and we're playing at Erangel, and as you can see here, we got the median FPS, the average CPU load, the max memory use, and below you can see the graph of the frames per second. But before that, I'm gonna show you the graphic settings that we have chosen for the Realme 3 Pro. So we're gonna set it up to balance ultra first, and we're gonna enable anti-aliasing and shadows. So yeah, we're gonna press OK now. There we go. So we're gonna start recording the FPS of PUBG Mobile, and right now it shows a fluctuating frames per second. Right now we're 36 frames per second median FPS. I don't think we will have to do the ultra HD settings anymore, as we've seen a fluctuating graphics or fluctuating FPS right now. Meron tayong fluctuation ng frames dito. As you can see, it's some frame drops, but not so drastic. But we'll have to play this game pa to see if ano bang mangyayari pag medyo heavy na yung mga scenes. With this frames per second, I believe we could play PUBG Mobile at a really good experience. Since we're getting 39 frames per second, I mean, hindi siya ganun kalaki yung kanyang frame drops, unlike other games or other smartphones. So this one is very reasonable pagdating sa frame drops. Let's see some action over here. As you can see, there's a little bit of frame drops whenever very minimal frame drops, as you can see. That is satisfying to see. And yes, how about yan, so you've seen that our median frames per second is at 39. This is actually very playable and maganda experience. I believe you could play PUBG Mobile at these settings, balance settings, and ultra frame rates nang mag-enjoy talaga kayo. But how about if we've set the settings at HD? So we have to stop this one first. And yes, another session for HD at high frame rates, or HD. Oh, no, sorry, no HDR. Again, we have anti-aliasing on and shadows enabled. And let's see if there will be some difference pagdating dito. So let's start recording again. And we'll see if meron changes. So, yan, give a second. There we go. It's already starting, and since we're at high frame rates, we're stuck at 30 median frames per second, which is fine, by the way. I mean, that's the cap FPS when we're playing PUBG Mobile at these settings. So unfortunately, wala tayong HDR, but HD is fine. I mean, yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't have any problems with it. Oh, so someone went here already. But yeah, you can see here that not much of a frame drop. So this is a good news. This is a good sign na talagang pang gaming smartphone tong Realme 3 Pro. I actually like it that we're getting frames like this. I believe mamatay na tayo na few. Yeah, but so far we're not seeing any drastic frame drops. Although wala tayong kalaban. Oh, there we go. So may konti mga frame drops like ganun lang, pero not really that drastic. Yan, there we go. So you can see, I'm not sure if the graph that you're seeing right now is sabay mismo nung laro because of the capture card, but as you can see, the graph or the FPS graph is actually almost a straight line. May konting frame drops, yes, but let's try driving. And tingnan natin if merong mangyayari. It's actually pretty good. We're getting good frame rates. And I believe sana meron pang ultra frame rates. Probably PUBG Mobile can even handle... Oh, there we go. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, that's an AI. Pero you get the point that we're getting good frame rates whatever whatever settings that you use dito sa PUBG Mobile. Oh, that's oh, there we go. But yeah, again, we're getting good frame rates in here kahit na anong gawin natin. So, this is a good news sa mga gamers and gusto maglaro ng PUBG Mobile. I actually like this. We're getting this frame rates. So yeah, I think that's it for PUBG Mobile. Let's proceed na sa next game natin. And again, 30 median frames per second at HD settings with high frame rate. So let's proceed sa ating next game. So guys, this is Fortnite and we're just gonna play the intro because we cannot play Fortnite with USB debugging on. I use that for my Gamebench for our testing. But you can see here that in our graphic settings, the quality is at medium with 100% 3D resolution and 30 frames per second. So it's not really that, that high pagdating sa settings. So let's try playing this game and we'll turn on Gamebench once na mag-start na tayo maglaro. Okay, so let's start recording this one again. We're playing Fortnite right now. Again, dito lang tayo sa intro. We cannot play this game pagdating na sa mismong in-game because of the USB debugging na bawal sa kanila. But you can see here that yes, we're doing some things now right now at Fortnite. I don't play this game. But the median frames per second that we're getting is at 27, 29. That is actually pretty good. And yan, nandito na tayo sa bus na and unfortunately we cannot show you that much pagdating dito. But you can see here that we're getting really good frame rates. A few frame drops, yes, but overall it's still pretty good. And ayan, nagda-drop to sila. You can see here that navigating, swiping from the bus gives you a pretty good frame rates. Lowest is around 22, but the frame rates is almost 30, 29, almost perfect for the kanyang settings. But once we drop, it will automatically disconnect because the game requires us to turn off USB debugging. But yeah, you could see here that you could play Fortnite in here pretty well on the Realme 3 Pro. This is actually pretty great for its price range. Okay guys, so we have here Honkai Impact 3 and we're just starting. As you can see here, we got the pretty good graphics in here. Really great game. And with those animations, we're getting a median frames per second of 30. That is pretty good right now. And let's see if we'll see more frame drops when we get to more action in this game. Yeah, we're getting a lot of actions, a lot of animations, a lot of lightings, and this is actually pretty good. We're getting a really good frame rates in here. We do not have that much frame drops. Right now, we're at 30 frames per second. That is actually... Oh, there we go. Some cinematics. So here's another one. And yeah, not much frame drops and the graphics are pretty good. And right now, we're getting 30 frames per second. The big drop that you've seen was the loading screen. So nothing that much, something to fuss about its frame rates. It's actually pretty good. We're getting really good frame rates and even if we swipe it like this and mag-navigate tayo somewhere or ganyan tayo ng ganyan, nothing is actually getting in the way dito sa Realme 3 Pro. It's actually a pretty good gaming smartphone. It exceeded most of my expectations. So more enemies. Let's try it out. So more animations and yeah. You can see here that it's actually pretty good. More animations. There we go. Not much frame drops, around 29 to 30. This one can handle Honkai Impact 3 without any problems. I'm telling you guys. The Realme 3 Pro is a really good smartphone, especially for a mid-range smartphone. This is actually pretty good. So yeah, I guess that's it dun sa Honkai Impact 3. The median FPS is at 30. We got really good frame rates and the smartphone can handle this game pretty well. Okay, our next game is one of the most popular game right now in the Philippines, and Realme 3 Pro is actually headlining this one. So this is Mobile Legends, mga kaibigan, and let's try recording this one and let's see how is the graphics, how is the frames dito, and just to give you an idea, we're at HD on shadow on with high graphics. So we're really getting a good frame rates in here surprisingly. So well actually I've tried this game before during the launch of this smartphone and we've seen a pretty good frame rates dito sa larong to. So right now you're looking at 58 median frames per second. Not much of a frame drop. This is actually pretty good. This is almost perfect. 60 lang yung ano. So hindi natin napatay kasi busy tayo looking at the frames. But you can see here that yes, we're getting good frame rates with Mobile Legends. And if you're into Mobile Legends, this is a great game. Wala kayong rereklamo dito. Okay na okay siya. There we go. So wag tayo masyado matapang. But you can see here that we're getting good frame rates. We're not good at this game. Just to give you guys an idea, I'm not good at this game. But so far, straight line lang yung nakikita natin. Looking at the graph, makikita nyo halos straight line. Walang problema. This is a smartphone that is great for games like Mobile Legends. So, yeah, nothing to worry about this one. Going back, this is a good sign that we can play this game really well. There we go. Just slaying an enemy. But so far, so good. Not much of a frame drops even dun sa ganun. So, wala tayong paproblemahin talaga dito sa laron to. Let's try doing some clash dito sa baba. Let's see if there will be improvements pagdating dun. If there will be some frame drops. If we're gonna do some clashes with some other heroes. So, yeah, no frame drops. Almost no frame drops. Almost zero yung frame drops. That's actually a good sign with this one. So yeah, I guess that's it dito sa Mobile Legends. I'm gonna play this one muna, then we'll proceed sa next game natin. Our next game is NBA 2K19, boys. So we all know that this is one of the most popular games right now on smartphones. And yeah, let's see if we play this game. So we've set the settings at high, ultra high, ultra. Basically, this is the highest settings that we can get for NBA 2K19. And let's try playing this game. Right now, we're getting a 45 FPS. That's the median frames. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's too bad. Too bad. But right now, we're getting a really good 42 median frames per second. We're just gonna finish this quarter. And let's see if we could have a good frame rates. Okay, so we've played this game before. We tested it with other smartphones. The thing with NBA 2K19 is as you play the game, makikita nyo yung difference sa FPS, mas bumabagal siya. So, let's see if this is the same case dito sa Realme 3 Pro. There we go. So, right now, we're getting 41 median frames per second. Yes, the FPS is actually fluctuating right now. But considering that we're getting median frames per second of 41, this is actually really playable as long as it's more than 30. Since this is not an FPS game, I believe this is just fine. There we go. So right now we're getting 36, dropping to 36, maybe because of the notification. But yeah, we're getting 41, 40. This is really playable. Wala kayong paproblemahin with this game. So we're really bad at this game. So we'll try out. Even though na naka-close up yung camera, we're getting better frame rates at 45 FPS, 46 right now. 50. Yan. So, you can see here that, it's fluctuating, but it doesn't go down below 41 most of the time. So, pag meron lang talagang heavy scenes or may transitions, we can see that there's a drop in FPS. But right now, this is actually pretty good. There we go. Another close-up, and we're getting at 43, 44 frames per second, then going back to 42, 48, 36. So yeah, the lowest that I've seen right now is 36 frames per second, but the rest is actually fine with me. There we go. So a minute left before we end the game. There we go. Oh, sorry, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds pala. Yeah, you can see here that there's really a change in the FPS, but everything is smooth so far. 37, 42, everything is fine actually. Oh, there we go. Another close up. And the transition. Wow, okay. So, nag-increase pa siya to 60 frames per second right now. 23 during the transition. 57. So, may drop lang talaga pagdating sa transition ng 2K Sports or the free throw. Yan, there you go. But right now, we're going back to 39, 41. It's really cool, actually. And actually, okay yung we've been playing games dire-diretso dito. So, we're gonna test yung kanyang temperature at the end of this session of after our gaming test. Okay, ang tagal. Ayaw pumasa. Okay, 5-second violation for some unknown reason. Okay, so, yeah, 38 frames per second. So, everything is good so far. There we go, 49 seconds left and napindot ko na naman yung pasa na malayo. But yeah, 40, we got median of 40 frames per second. So medyo bumababa talaga yung median FPS niya. We've seen that before on other our gaming tests with other smartphones. But so far, this is actually pretty good. We're getting, this one is 40 frames per second at ultra high settings. Still not bad for me, I believe. There we go, terrible shot, but yeah, I made it. I don't know how, but we made it. 48 frames per second with that one, surprisingly. So, you could see that malaki yung difference when it comes to FPS. Nagpa-fluctuate talaga ng malaking beses. Maybe it's the optimization of NBA, but what I like about it is that despite having this fluctuations sa FPS, we can still get a pretty good frame rates, and it doesn't really block our experience with the game. Yes, more than 6 frames per second yung drop, but overall, I do not have any problems with it. It's very, very smooth. And yeah, there we go. We missed that shot. And I think that's it for our gaming test of NBA 2K19. So let's proceed to our next game. So our next game is Talion. And right now, we've set it up at the highest settings possible for the smartphone. So just to give you an idea, the options, you can see here that we're setting it at high, superior. Everything is at the highest settings possible for the smartphone. And we'll try recording this one on Gamebench, and we're gonna see our FPS on this one. So right now, we're getting a median frames per second of 18, 17. So that is actually pretty bad. And actually, I'm not surprised, since even Snapdragon 855 smartphones are having a hard time maintaining more than 30 frames per second, or around more than 35 frames per second on this smartphone. So let's try battling out some enemies in here. So you can see here that there's some effects, and the FPS is going down to up to 14. Okay, up to 14. And you can see here that once we've zoomed in, you can see here that the graphics is even better. We got motion blur, we got the screen effects, and yeah, you can see that thanks to the Unreal Engine 4, we got a really good graphics in this game. The median FPS that we're getting right now is 15. That is actually terrible for this game, but well, again, this is expected. Again, we're talking about a mid-range smartphone, not a flagship one. So if you want to play Talion, you should set it up at a lower settings, maybe at medium. But right now, you can see here that the highest that we can get is 15 frames per second. Right now, we're stuck at 14. So let's try setting it down to medium settings if we could get a better frame rates at this game, at Talion. So we've set up the game at auto settings. Almost all of the settings are medium, but we got at the highest resolution possible and superior frames. And yeah, let's see if we could get better frame rates on this game since we set it up at medium settings. So far, this is promising. We're getting 37 median frames per second, but let's try killing some enemies and adding some effects. There we go. So lots of effects in here, a lot of lighting effects. We're getting 37, 35 median frames per second. 31, we're dropping to 31. That is not surprising actually, considering that we got a pretty heavy graphics on this game. Okay. Alright, so we're going down to 28, 26. So, yeah, this is actually pretty heavy. And We're getting 31 frames per second, but the median frames per second is at 32. Very playable. So if you're gonna play Talion or heavy games like this, this is recommended that you use medium settings to have a very playable frame rate. And yeah, there we go. This is actually pretty good. We're getting good frame rates in here, good median frames per second. And let's extend the graph right now. And you can see here, yes, there are some frame drops at heavier effects or heavier battles. And yeah, this is pretty good. Everything is smooth and the graphics are, console level or PC level. Not console like PS4 level, but yeah. This is better than you can expect sa isang smartphone. So the lowest that we can get is around 28, 25. But the median frames per second right now is 33. This is not that bad considering the game is really heavy. And if you're planning to do this on ultra settings, well guys, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you could play this game lang ng ganong frames, more than 35 or 40 sa mga flagship smartphones with a higher processors. So yeah, I guess that's it for our hands-on and gaming test ng Realme 3 Pro. But before we end this session, one thing na napansin ko dito is, kanina pa ako naglalaro, dire-diretso dito, almost no pauses pag lumilipat lang ako ng game. But wala tayong napansin na talagang heat masyado. So we're gonna use our temperature. So the hottest is around in this part. So yeah, we can get around 40, around 40. So our highest siguro is 39.4. Kanina nag-40 siya. But considering that we're charging the smartphone right now and we're playing heavy games kanina pa, even at superior settings kanina, hindi tumataas yung temperature niya. The Realme 3 Pro is doing a great job when it comes sa pag-handle ng temperatures and also sa game. So, let's proceed na sa pag-check natin ng FPS and also the FPS stability of the games that we've tested kanina dito sa Realme 3 Pro. So there we go. You've just seen how the Realme 3 Pro works in our Gamebench test on different games. So as you can see here in the results here, we got here PUBG Mobile and it ran pretty well at 39 frames per second with 97% stability for the balance settings with ultra frame rates. And we also got here 30 frames per second with 100% stability at HD settings. However, I still prefer having ultra frame rates rather than the high frame rates, as we can get better FPS, which is essential in PUBG Mobile. Of course, Fortnite, well, we did run Fortnite and it was quite short, but it was at 29 frames per second with 92% stability. And then, of course, Honkai Impact, which is pretty demanding. We got 30 frames per second with 92% stability, surprisingly. And then, we got NBA 2K19 at 40 frames per second with 93% stability. That's not surprising considering that there are some frame drops during transitions and some heavy scenes. And then, of course, Mobile Legends at 59 frames per second with 100% stability. No problems with that. However, with Talion, this is pretty demanding game. So the Talion runs at the auto graphics at 34 frames per second with 95% stability. However, at higher settings, you can run it at 15 frames per second with 100% stability. So yeah, we all know that the Realme 3 Pro is quite enticing when it comes to performance. I did love its performance in PUBG. I was actually surprised that the smartphone was able to run PUBG Mobile at balanced settings with ultra frame rates. Again, I prefer having an ultra frame rates rather than the HD settings with high frame rate. And of course, when it comes to Mobile Legends, one of the most popular games here in the Philippines, well, you won't have any problems with this smartphone. And even when you're playing NBA 2K19, well, you all know that that 93%, that small difference in the percent stability, well, you won't have any problems with that because the smartphone can play NBA 2K19 without problems. And since we're able to play Talion at pretty good settings and even 15 frames per second at the highest settings available for the smartphone, this actually means that the Realme 3 Pro is actually future-proof when it comes to gaming. So yeah, I guess that's it for our gaming test of the Realme 3 Pro. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, well, now is the time to subscribe. So once again, I am Jam of JamOnline.ph and thank you for watching our gaming test of the Realme 3 Pro.